Ladies and gentlemen, hello and welcome to my review of 2019's Boogiepop and Others. If you're new here, welcome. Again, this is a review for the series. We just recently finished it. If you're interested, you can watch full-length reactions of the full series on the channel. Um, but yeah. For people who have watched it, um, did I like the series? TL Too Long to Watch? Yes, I think that I may be overrated. I think it's amazing. I know it's a little controversial of opinion because it's not. I wouldn't say it's not well liked, but it's a lot more like con not controversy, mixed feelings than I expected there to be of the series. When I think it's just really good. Um, but we'll go over like good, bads, and stuff. One's a great thing is I learned later while watching the series that the original novel, the light novel series, was inspiration for Terra no Coyote, another light novel series which was adapted into a series of anime movies, which happens to be my favorite or one of my favorites. I usually just cite it as my favorite anime series of all time. So this felt very Terra no Coyote-y. Obviously, I should say it in reverse, right? Terra no Coyote feels very Boogiepop-y, but I really love the vibe. So personally, it was really up my alley. Um, but the good, yeah, no matter what people say, I think almost everyone agrees that the soundtrack to the anime's bomb. I would be playing it, but I think it's like super copyrighted, so I won't. But it's awesome. I love Boogiepop's theme. It's probably my favorite, but it's just a really, really great soundtrack. Like it might be the best soundtrack out of the anime we've watched on the channel. Maybe it's a little bold claim without like revisiting all of them, but I think it was super strong and one of the good points. Um, I also think that in general, the anime is very stylish in terms of sound mixing and direction of. I don't know how to say it in anime. I always get confused because usually in movies you say how it's shot, but it's not. They're not really like shooting stuff in anime, but I'm just trying to say how it's shot too. Um, it's like I do like I think we're seeing it more now. Um because I would say in general like animes can look gorgeous, but they don't have these like camera angles that you see in movies and stuff that really like gives it its own style or a unique feel, and Boogie Pop definitely hits it. And it's not the first one we've seen in this in the reactions on the channel, but I will say it's probably the best because the sound design's crazy, and not just because the OST, but they really did a good job mixing sound effects, cutting off stuff. It's very impressive, especially like the first start. First start, you can say what you like about the first start because I know a lot of people don't like it, but I think the sound design is crazy in that arc, and even the editing too makes up for the negatives of the Manticore arc. Um, and you're like, Aiden, how's the animation? I think it's more of a mixed bag. I know I've seen people, because I remember like halfway through the series, I was almost rage reading reviews. Like I got stuck in a rabbit hole. But I know there's a decent amount of people that didn't like the animation style. Obviously each their own. Everyone likes something different. It is preference a lot of the time, and I can see why. A lot of the times in this anime, it takes a low detailed approach to it. Like, there's a lot of shots where you just see very bare bones character design with like blank faces. Obviously it's a stylish choice. It's not like Madhouse fucked up, right? They did it on purpose. I gave a pretty sick explanation about why I thought they did that in like one of the episodes, but I kind of forgot what I said. I think it was during the Manticore, just because it is very noticeable. But is that stylish choice effective, or would I mean, I probably would have preferred not having it and just having decent to good animation throughout instead of, or I shouldn't say good. I should say detailed animation throughout, but I respect it. Like I always thought it's just because, this whole like normal versus abnormal thing in the world, how the abnormal people are technically like, are like, they go against the tide, the flow, like the whole show is kind of like that, right? The unique people in society and how society tries to push them down. I feel like the low animation is like kind of representative of that, trying to blend everything into the background, but obviously that's just like me thinking. It could be anything but a fuck up. I don't, like, you can call the creative decision a fuck up, but obviously Madhouse didn't just drop the ball on the animation, especially after I learned the fun fact that they actually dropped One Punch Man Season 2 to do this, which, financially it probably didn't work out how they wanted to, but I'm thankful because I love I love this series. And on the books, it was probably a good gamble since this light novel is one of, if not the most popular light novel from my understanding. Um, mm, mm, mm. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's a mid-spade. But I will say the one, and there is good points in animation, and I think because of this stylistic choice, when the animation pops off, you really notice it to the then you're not used to it. And there's some like just really good looking scenes, like last arc, very almost the last scene with just Toka and Tetsuda just sitting on the subway. It looks gorgeous. Nagi trying to hit Fear Ghoul with her stun gun, and she did the fucking backwards dodge. That looked gorgeous. There's just like a lot of gorgeous moments in it. It's just that it switches. It switches from like low detail to high detail. But, even though it's not really a fighting anime, the fight scenes were pretty gorgeous too. But yeah, I don't know. I'm happy with the animation, but I can understand why people wouldn't love it. Another critique I hear is character designs are a little too bland. I don't really know what to say to that. It's based in like modern day, because I know it's an older series, though they kind of modernized it a bit. I mean, most of the people are just people. Again, it goes with their mindset of the low detailed animation. Most of them are just average people, and when they look weird, they look weird. Like something like spooky, synthetic human, looks weird as fuck. Boogiepop, crazy costume. I will admit, like, I did. I can't say that I was I agree, some of the characters look a little bland, just because I did get Masumi and Oscar confused when I was looking up their voice actors one time. But I don't know, man. It's just because they don't have like crazy hair colors, I don't think it's that crazy. I think it's pretty. And I got Nagi confused with Manticore when you first but it's like the first thing you see Manticore. I don't know, I don't think it's that big of a deal, I guess. Storytelling. No, before storytelling, in general, I like how, I don't want to sound like pretentious, but it does feel like a smart anime. Even though, just saying that makes my skin crawl a bit, but, they throw a lot of philosophy in it. It's definitely a thinker, especially how it's formatted too, because they use unconventional formatting. Obviously, Manticore goes a little overboard in that, the Manticore arc, but, they present it in a way that's not standard, and it makes you think a bit. I personally like it, but, yeah. Story-wise, I was pretty happy with all the arcs. Like Care no Kaioke, each arc is, they're loosely not loosely, they're connected, but there's not like a big plot line, right? Like You know, I don't know. Let's just say like I'm trying to think of an example. I can't really think of it. Let's say like in a story, like the main plot is to find the secret sword and save the kingdom, but in their journeys, you know, they stumble across a village full of bandits and they have to like I don't know, kill the bandits, then they move on, then there's another quest. Uh, like that. It's not like that. It's basically just side quests. And while the characters are connected to each other, there's not like some ultimate goal they're working towards, and I think that's kind of neat. I think each arc has its charm. If I had to rank them, I am a fan of Boogiepop at Dawn, the third arc, and it's also kind of the prequel arc, where we learn some backstory, finally learn about Nadi's dad, backstory on Nadi and Boogiepop. I thought that was probably my favorite arc. Then next is, it's kind of a tie between the final arc, Kina Distortion, and Verse Imaginator. I don't know which I like better. I feel like I'm leaning towards Kina Distortion, but I do love Imaginator as a villain. It's just that the first half of Imaginator's arc was was a little messy. And I think my least favorite is the Manticore arc, like everyone. And it's kind of a shame that that's the first arc, and I feel like maybe that's one of the turnoffs. It's just that arc's just, they do the unconventional storytelling, but they turn it to the max where it's kind of confusing even for someone like me. By the end of it, I'm like, okay, that was pretty cool once you get everything, but again, it can be frustrating if you don't know what's happening. I still think that's a good arc, by the way. I just think it's the weakest out of all of them. Favorite character? I mean, just Boogiepop, I guess. But I mean, I guess the main answer to that question is either Boogiepop or Nadi. I kind of like Nadi a little better, but Boogiepop's so cool, man. She kind of won me over, especially in the last arc. The bungee jumping scene. That scene, iconic. Bungee jump and decapitate Scuffed Godzilla. You love to see it. Yeah. Though, you know, Nadi's great. I think Imaginator's my favorite villain. You know, villain. I mean, I guess she is a villain. I put that in quotations because, but she is a villain. But I think all of the antagonists were pretty good. You know, you can say what you want about Manticore and Satome, but I think they were pretty fun antagonists. Feargal is obviously like really good too. King of Distortion and Stuffed Godzilla, good too. I would probably say Feargal is my second favorite. Honestly, like my main critique is I just wanted more, man. Why is it an 18 episode like series? It's such an odd number. You know, if you're going over 12, you might as well go 24 and adapt like the rest of the series, or at least another arc, man. You know, I've heard that they have enough material for another arc, but I just don't know the financial success of the series. Like, I can't really judge, you know, I'm just going off my anime list, but I wish there was how to see how successful an anime is in Japan. Does this work? I don't know. I don't really care. I don't think it's happening, though. They still have the rights. They can do it. You know, Madhouse. Well, what's Madhouse doing? They're Overlord? Trim that shit for Boogiepop Season 2. They probably won't. But I just wanted more. Unlike Kira no Kaioke, where like you feel really satisfied with the ending, this one, you know, it just feels like there's more to give. I want more just because I loved it so much. And you know, other critiques, like I said, first arc pretty weak, and it's just unfortunate that it's the first arc and it lasts 3 episodes, and a lot of people do the 3-episode rule. So, and you know, first half of the Imaginator arc I would also say is a little weak. And again, it's a little smarty, a little philosophical, which is not my alley, but I know some people won't like it. I don't know, I just really like this anime. It's the experience of watching it is up there with like Higurashi Go on my channel. Like, I'm not saying this is the best anime on the channel. I'd have to think about it a lot more. But yeah, and we've watched like great animes like Violet Evergarden and Your Lie in April, but like the actual experience of watching it, I don't think I had as much fun watching it. Like it's similar to like the new Higurashi stuff, which was just super hype too. So, and honestly, great series. If you haven't watched it, I would, even if you haven't watched my reactions, who cares about my reactions, dude? I recommend you giving it a chance, and if you dislike the first start, I urge you to like just watch a bit more. I don't know if that's a good call, but like I'll push for this anime. I think it's, whatever you think of it, I think it's underrated, right? There's no way it's bad. I've seen some people call this bad. It's not bad. At most, it's decent, and you just don't like it. But it's not bad. It's great in my opinion. But yeah, that's my review of Boogiepop and others. Thank you for watching. If you're new here, then hit the sub button. We do anime shit, weeb shit reviews. There's more reviews on the channel, more reactions coming. Next up, we're reacting to season 2 of Ghost in the Shell 2045, another underrated anime. Though I think this is more underrated than Ghost in the Shell standalone complex 2045. But yeah, anyways, thanks for watching, and yeah, hopefully I'll see you in the future. Peace.